Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of Mocktail Minutes. This is Bailey.
And this is Brianna.
We're back, the dream team.
We're back. I feel like it's been so long.
It has been so long. Like, we just sat here for an hour talking.
Yeah.
Because
Literally.
we're both so bad at texting, and so I feel like whenever we come to record, it's like we have to catch up each week.
Yeah. Oh, I'm the worst at texting. Like, I have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because if I see how many notifications for texts I have, I get overwhelmed. And it's stupid things. Like, it's things where, like, I want to talk to those people. Or,
Yeah.
like, spam. I could just, delete it. No, not really. Fine.
It's okay. But we're back, and this week I am drinking, it's called Popz. It's a prebiotic drink. This one is the half and half. It's actually pretty good. Like sometimes when you get tea flavored things that are also carbonated, they get a little weird. But this one I like. I got it from Aldi.
I'll have to try it. I'm doing the grape Ultima. I don't know what it is. I've been loving grape lately, like grape Olipop, grape this, and I didn't never really thought I liked grape, but here I am.
I don't think I've tried the grape Ultima. We have the grape just ingredients, and that one really grew on me. But I'll have to
Yeah,
look at that one.
it's pretty good.
Today we're talking about who should not be in a calorie deficit. I feel like a lot of people might skip this episode for a weird reason because everyone thinks they need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight.
Yes.
Or it's bad to everyone.
Or
they're like unhealthy.
Yeah, or if you hear someone say like you don't need to be in a calorie deficit, it's instantly like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. All right. But not everybody should be in one.
And I think we get it very confused where it's, oh, so we don't have to eat less to lose weight. Yes. Dot, dot.
Yeah. But
if you were under eating, we've done an episode about under eating versus calorie deficit. If you were under eating and your metabolism is already tanked, your metabolism has adapted to where when you may have previously been in a deficit, but now you're at a very down-regulated maintenance level. So when we say you may need to eat more to lose weight, it's not because a calorie deficit doesn't work. It's because if you just continue to drop your calories, you're just going to keep getting metabolic adaptations. You just can't stop eating type of thing. You're going to get very sick. You're not going to feel good. So that's where when we see people under eating for weight loss, it's like that starving for weight loss type of thing. We work your calories up in what's called a reverse diet because that's what's going to increase your metabolism. So that way, after your maintenance, once you get to there, then you do a strategic calorie deficit. But some people are not ready for a calorie deficit when they come to see us.
No, and it really is those people who have been eating really low calorie for a really long time. And again, it's like are you in a calorie deficit or are you eating underneath your BMR? Because your body's really good at adapting until it's not. And you can't just like not live off 400 calories. Like, so now you have to go back. And I think people forget like maintenance and surplus too. Like if you are trying to figure out like, well, am I under eating? And we've talked about this, like doing a TDEE to see what is my, in theory, basal metabolic rate. Am I eating under that? If so, I need to work my way up to maintenance. And if you're someone who's like, I've been in a calorie deficit for a long time and it is apparently above my BMR and I'm in a good spot, but I have not been losing weight, and you've tried like reverse dieting, you've tried like a bunch of different things, getting a DEXA scan so that you know what your real BMR is so important, because I've had a couple of those lately. And one of my clients got a DEXA and her BMR is like 950 calories, which based on her TDEE, it should be like 1200. So now I'm like, wow, eat 1100 calories, which is, I feel really like, I don't feel comfortable saying that, but I have the data saying like, we got to work you like back up. And she's so terrified of gaining weight that we got to like do it slowly. But you could have really just jacked up your metabolism and now you got to work your way out of it. Like calorie deficit may be off the table for you for a little bit.
I feel like I'm reverse dieting so many people right now. I would say probably, I think I've had 2 in the past 4 months who have been overeating.
Yes. I try to tell people that. So many people are not overeating.
Yeah. And I usually see it happen more with guys, actually. Guys are more overeaters. Women are very good at being undereaters. And then we're stuck in this weight loss, weight gain cycle. But I mean, a reverse diet, it's so crazy how it works. But like everyone's, this is just magic. I don't understand it. I'm like, it's because our bodies are not as simple as we're taught that they should be, type of thing. And then we get so stressed out about like, the calories on our watch. Do we need to subtract the 200 calories we burned or the 500 calories that says we burned for the day? No. In that sense, we are overcomplicating something and we're just plain focusing on the wrong thing. But absolutely, if you are someone who's already under eating, like eating less is just going to suppress your metabolism further. And going along with that, I would say another person who should not do a calorie deficit is if you were in like a high stress point of your life. So like being under 6 hours, just like constantly feeling fatigued, feeling like your life is super chaotic. Whether it's like work stress, emotional stress, food restrictions overall, training stress, like if you're training to do a triathlon or whatever, like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Not a great time to just start a calorie deficit right now.
Yeah.
So adding this calorie deficit, that would be an additional stressor on the body, on an already stressed out body.
Yeah. And I think people don't realize it. Like when we're like, oh, manage your stress. And it's like, okay, like work stress, family stress. Okay. But we also mean like those physical
Body stress.
stressors. Yeah. Like the lack of sleep. Like under eating is a huge stressor to your body. Huge. I would say the other thing too is thinking about like your thyroid function. And if you're someone who's had like a really underactive thyroid, like being in too small of a deficit for too long is not great, which is also why we see a lot of people kind of like lose weight when they start to eat a little bit more or they have better nourishment because you're fueling your thyroid and using those calories better, and then you're actually getting results. So it could just be your body is too stressed to lose weight. We don't need to lose weight to live. It's like counterintuitive, but you need to hold on to weight to live. So your body in a very high stress state is not going to be like, sure, let's lose weight. And everyone always is like, but what about like famine? Okay.
Very different.
Very different, Karen. We're not in a
Yes.
famine. Okay. And
It's
famine doesn't
very
have the
different.
option to go binge at the end of the week because they've been starving. Different.
And they're like chronically ill and they don't live a long, healthy life. Like they're gonna die early. I don't think that's what you want.
Yeah. And the people on social media who are like, well, explain famine. I'm like, you're crazy, right? We're not seeing
Yeah.
that like we do want to live a little bit better. People who are experiencing famine.
Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I've seen so many people lose weight by increasing their calories strategically with a reverse diet. Like, we're not saying go out and eat a tub of ice cream each night if you're under eating. Like, it is a strategic process. And unfortunately, it's not necessarily something we could just be like, oh, you're going to work up 100 calories exactly this week. You're going to increase by 15 grams of carbs. You're going to do this for 5 weeks or whatever it is. Because it's a little different, I think, for each person. Like, I know a lot of times with a reverse diet, everyone says to focus on protein first. Yes and no. Like, for me, sometimes I don't start protein yet. If your protein goes like 140 and you're at like 110 and your carbs are only at 120, this was like the other day, her carbs are like at 120, which is very low. I like to see you at a minimum of 150 carbs. And so my first priority is to get you to that minimum carb amount, even though we're not at your protein goal.
Yeah.
And dietitians may do it differently. It doesn't mean anyone's wrong. I just personally try and get everyone to like minimums before I start like optimizing each area.
Yeah.
I don't know, do you do it differently or do you
No,
focus on
I do
protein
it the
first?
same because very few people, especially because protein has been like a thing now for a while, and the keto and the carnivore, naturally you're eating a little bit higher protein. It's always the carbs first because I think women have been so scared of
We're
carbs.
so bad at carbs lately.
So bad. And people are like, oh no, I'm eating enough. And there's so many times that I'm like, I need you tracking because I need you physically seeing that like your quarter cup of rice at one meal is not a lot of carbs. Like in your mind, you think it's a lot because you've had rice and like, oh my God, you've had rice. It's not. And like you start eating more carbs, your thyroid's more supported, you feel better, you have the energy to go move more.
Yeah.
Weight loss is easier. Protein, I think it's very few that I see that are like way low where I'm like, oh, okay, let's work out. Most people are like pretty good at protein, also pretty good at fat. It's always the carbs.
Always the carbs, which goes along with the fiber.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm like,
I was under eating carbs, which
oh, I
explained
will
a lot.
undereat carbs, which is I
It's so
love
hard not to.
like I'll be like, oh, that's probably a lot. And then again, this is where you don't know what you don't know. If you don't know how many carbs are in the bread that you like go look it up so that you can be like, oh, is this appropriate
Yeah.
amount of carbs I have? Because you're probably just being like, oh, that's a lot of carbs. I'm not going to do that. And not realizing like your breakfast is 5 carbs. So you
Yeah.
probably should have done the bread.
I mean, a slice of bread's like 12 grams of carbs.
It's
So
not that
it's
bad.
really not that crazy.
No, it's not. Neither are potatoes, especially if you make them at home,
Mhm.
depending on the type of potato and what you have, but neither here nor there. Carbs, which will help your calories go up. And it's an easy way because it's like, okay, have a little bit more fruit. Fruit feels easy to eat. It's decent amount of calories depending on what you have. It's carbs. You could slowly work your way up with good quality food. Like Bailey said, like don't be like, well, I guess I can have a tub of Ben& Jerry's ice cream every night because I have the calorie room for it. This is why you're in the position you're in because we think things like that.
Absolutely.
Who else would you say should not be in a calorie deficit?
So I would say this is one of those, I think definitely if you're pregnant, you should not be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah.
My other thing that I think breastfeeding, you shouldn't necessarily focus on a calorie deficit, or maybe at least like the first 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, your body is already overworking. And a lot of times, like you have that postpartum pressure of bounce back. So we start to look at weight loss and we have the calorie deficit mindset.
Mhm.
But then, like, it starts impacting your milk supply. We get more fatigued. We have more deficiencies. So I don't know. I was going back and forth. Like, breastfeeding, do we not go on a calorie deficit? I'm going to go with no.
Say no. Like anyone that I have worked with that's like, oh, I'm considering it. It's like after they've been breastfeeding for like over 9 months. Because at 9 months, you're not nursing as often. You're probably going to
Yeah.
have more sleep. You're probably back into a workout routine. But most postpartum women, like the hormone situation going on, do so well with like eating at maintenance or maybe a little above
Yeah.
strength training.
Yeah.
Like you will put on so much muscle. It's like the
You'll
best.
put on muscle. Yeah. So just because you're not going on a calorie deficit doesn't mean you're not going to fit into your clothes. Like, you can walk, you can pay attention, eat enough, because when we start that under eating process or start the calorie deficit, plus we're trying to feed another human, I mean, it's that stressor on the body again, where we just get to the under eating and your metabolism's going to tank anyway. So why don't you just keep eating and keep your metabolism revved up?
Yeah, you're burning calories, creating your milk supply. This is probably the only time where I'd be like, just consider yourself in a calorie deficit from breastfeeding. Like eat at maintenance or maybe a little bit higher, and you're probably still in a calorie deficit because of breastfeeding. Not so much with pregnancy, it's different. But you
Yeah.
should not be trying to be in a calorie deficit when pregnant. Even if you are really overweight, I would say like a maintenance is like,
Yes.
yeah.
And you can be strategic about fat loss during pregnancy.
Mhm.
I've had someone lose weight during pregnancy. I've had someone not gain anything during pregnancy. Both very healthy babies, but it was like we were targeting fat loss, not just calorie deficit.
It's just
So,
a whole different strategy of doing it. It's not,
yes,
you're not
I
the
would say general rule of thumb, we'll go no deficiency. No deficiency. We don't want a deficiency.
Yeah.
No deficit for either of them.
And then if you are currently dieting or anything and you are like low energy, dizzy, hair loss, that's such a big one. Everyone is always like, what should I take for the hair loss with a GLP-1? I'm like, food.
Food.
Take food. That will help. You know, if you're getting really poor sleep, if you're super irritable, if you're having extremely quick weight loss, your workouts are kind of sucking because you're dragging, or if you're starting to have like vitamin deficiencies, like all signs, you are just not getting enough nourishment. And that's not a deficit, that's under eating.
Yeah, and especially if you're super irritable, things like that. These are things we commonly see all the time, and we feel like it's like our hormones or something crazy wrong with it. And I've been joking lately, I'm like, I could literally fix everything if you would just eat.
Yeah.
And
You're in such a better
it's
mood.
not, yeah, like you don't have all these stomach issues, you don't have all these hormone issues we thought we had. You don't have like all these things that we feel like we need to go to like functional med for.
Mhm.
Yes, there are things we do, but like this is your foundational piece before weight loss. You have to make sure you're eating enough
Yeah.
before you do that calorie deficit. If you're already in a deficit and you try to do another one, you're just tanking yourself and you're going to get burnt out. And yeah, all of these, like the hair loss is super common because, yeah, no woman wants to
No one wants to be
lose their
bald.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't want to be skinny and bald.
Especially if you have control over it. I had someone, we were talking about this, and she was losing her hair, and she brought this up, and she's like, I was literally to the point where I was so desperate to be skinny, I wanted to be skinny and bald. See, I just didn't care.
Right. Right. And then it's like, oh, I need to check in with myself. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I'm being
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. I
So
know.
that's like where like disordered eating patterns I think come into where not a good time for a calorie deficit either. If those are your mind, that's like your thoughts that come up, you're not in a good mental space right now to eat less. You have to fix that relationship with food first, which I know you've probably heard a million times. It sounds annoying, but you have to fix that relationship with your food first before you challenge your body more.
Because then it's just an unhealthy thing, like
You're going to constantly just be
you,
fighting your body.
yeah, you're fighting your body. You're not feeling great. Then you're constantly thinking about food. You're obsessing over it. Like life's too short. And that's not what you want. And I'm sorry, you will become the type of person that even when you do have weight loss, you will never see it or get to enjoy it. You will always like want more, which is like,
Yeah.
well, then what was the point of that? It's a lot. It's a lot. But yeah, if you are having any of those things, calorie deficit is probably off the table for you. It does not mean you're not going to lose weight. It does not mean that you're going to gain weight. Some people may not lose weight. Maybe they'll maintain, or maybe some will gain weight. But just because you're not in a calorie deficit and you have to work your way up to maintenance doesn't mean you are going to not lose weight or gain weight. It doesn't always mean that, which is why you need to work with someone that can help you get up to that. Because yeah, if you're eating 900 calories and your maintenance is 2000, if you go from 900 to 2000, you will gain weight.
Yes.
If you're fine with that, cool. You'll be feeling better more quickly. Cool. But this is where it's like, and it's like Bailey said, it's an art. Like I have a lot of places that I start with and a lot of things I'm looking at first, but it's really dependent on the person of like how quickly we increase, like where are we increasing? It's
And
not,
it depends where you're starting. Like some maintenance phases could be reverse phases, I guess. Could be 5 weeks up to maintenance. Some could be like 10 weeks.
yeah.
And then maintenance, I like to keep everyone there at least 4 weeks. I feel like the first round of maintenance is a little bit tricky because everyone's like, I just want to lose weight and I've just spent 10 weeks increasing and maintaining.
Yeah.
So I do find people do okay around 4 to 6 weeks
Mhm.
at maintenance. I tend to do a little bit lower if they have a lot higher calorie needs. If you're up to 2,800 calories, I give you like 4 weeks because you just have more wiggle room, I feel like.
Mhm.
So, like getting up to maintenance and then fat loss phase around 8 weeks, 12 weeks. Some people push it to 16. Have you ever done 16-week fat loss?
I've never, I think maybe for one person. And this was a person who had a lot of weight to lose and they felt really good where they were at. Like they were in their deficit. They were still having great workouts. She was also like tracking her body composition. And so it was easy to be like, okay, like
Good.
you haven't lost a bunch of muscle, I guess is appropriate. But I've never gone over 4 months. Like it's at the point where I'm like, okay, again, our bodies adapt. You don't want to
Mhm.
end up back where you were. Like, let's go back up and then reassess.
Yeah, I like to do 8 to 12, occasional
Mhm.
16,
I think,
just kind of
yeah,
depending on
8
where they're
to
at.
12
And
is
that's the
best.
other thing. Like, yeah, like you have to be able to see like how are you feeling? And so it's not as simple as just like do this for 4 weeks, do this for 4 weeks, do this for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's some cognitive thinking skills that go into it.
And being honest too, right, with yourself. Like,
Yes.
nope, actually, I have been feeling like shit. Okay. You're feeling like
You
shit and
ain't
you're not.
ready yet.
Wait, okay, let's go back up. And that might be scary, but
And it's
imagine
not a
being,
bad thing.
no, it's not.
Sometimes it feels like we failed if we have to repeat a week or something. Like sometimes your body's just not ready for that. And that's a win to be able to recognize where your body's at and what it's needing.
Yeah, because that's how you're gonna achieve that, like, long-term weight maintenance is you know what your body needs, you know how to tune into it. you're eating a proper amount. So like your body's using calories very well. Like I think it's a place that a lot of people think they can't get to, but they can. And I feel like a lot of times what's holding them back is they've just been drilled that you must be in a calorie deficit. And while that's not incorrect, what the hell is a calorie deficit? I don't know. Like that one client I had that got her DEXA, I would have been like, yeah, girl, you're in a calorie deficit for sure. No, she wasn't because her metabolism sucked so bad. And then
Yeah.
we're like, okay, I literally have to get you to a point of like building muscle and like being at a maintenance because there's no lower from here. Like, there's
You literally couldn't build muscle there.
no, yeah, you can't. And now we're like jeopardizing your bone health, right? And going back to what you said about like, I feel like I fix everything with food. Like, if you do truly have hormone issues or all these issues, if you are not eating, doing functional medicine isn't going to help you. Throwing a supplement at it, trying whatever, it's not going to help you. It's going to be a big waste of money and time. And then you're going to continue to think that something's really wrong with you when it's just like you need to eat.
We could solve a lot of your problems with food,
Yeah.
which people don't believe. It sounds too simple.
No. And they always be like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're so dumb. I'm like, okay. I have like $80,000 in student debt to tell you that I
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
But yeah, so there's our
Absolutely.
calorie deficit spiel.
Who should not be in a calorie deficit? Let us know what follow-up questions you have to this episode. Send us a message over on Instagram. And yeah, we'll be back next week for a brand new episode.
Bye.
Bye.